Hello everyone, welcome to the new front-end crash course of Tech School. As usual, at Tech School, we believe doing is the best way to learn. So in this course, we're gonna learn how to use the VueJS framework to quickly develop a modern reactive website. Let's start by building a simple login form for the Simple Bank project, whose backend API we already developed using Golang in the backend masterclass course of Tech School. This form will have one field for the username and one field for the password. Once the values for both of them are filled, the login button will be enabled, and the user can click on it to send login requests to the backend API. If the password is incorrect, an error notification will show up and will automatically disappear after a few seconds. When user enters valid credentials, the login should be successful, and this brings users to the user profile page that displays their information. There's also a logout button that allows users to end their session, and they will be redirected back to the login screen. Although the form looks pretty simple, implementing it might not be easy for those who are new to Vue, so to make it easier for you to follow, I'll break it down into multiple steps and cover them one by one in multiple short videos. The first step we have to do is install VueJS and create a new Vue application. In my opinion, Vue is a very easy to learn, yet also very powerful framework for building web UI. Let's follow the instructions on the quick start page to install it. One of the prerequisites is to have Node.js version 18.3 or higher. If you don't have it on your machine, please head over to nodejs.org to download it. I recommend install Node.js using a package manager. Here you can choose the latest version for your OS. If you're on Windows, please use WSL and choose Linux environment. Then you can choose brew or nvm package manager. I think the command to install Node will be the same for Linux and macOS. So I'm going to copy this command and run it in the terminal. I already installed Node on my computer, so that's why I got this message. If you want to have the latest version, you can run brew upgrade node. You can check its versions with this command, node-v. Normally, npm will also be installed together with Node. It stands for Node Package Manager, a tool that helps us manage and interact with Node.js packages. Now we can use it to create a new VueJS application with this command, npm create vue latest. It will ask us a series of questions regarding the project we want to create. First, the project name. I plan to put the new front-end code inside the folder within the same repository as the Simple Bank backend codebase, so I'm gonna name it Frontend. Next, it asks if we want to use TypeScript or not. Let's choose yes because it's much better to have type checking in our code. The next question is, do we want to add JSX support? Yes, we do. JSX is basically a syntax extension that helps us write VueJS code more easily. Then we definitely would like to add Vue Router because it's useful for developing single-page application. There's no need to use Pinia for state management yet, so let's choose no. The same applies to unit testing and end-to-end testing. We are not using them for now. Then let's choose yes for the next two questions about adding ESLint and Prettier, since they will help us improve our code quality. Finally, the DevTool extension for debugging is not needed yet. So I'm going to say no to the last question. Okay, now the new project is ready. In VS Code, we can see that the front-end folder has been added as part of the Simple Bank backend codebase. Now I'm going to cd to the front-end folder and run npm install to download all packages that our Vue application requires. Optionally, we can run the npm format command, which uses Prettier under the hood to format the code for us to make them look better. Later, when we develop using an IDE such as VS Code, this step will be done for us automatically by the IDE. Alright, now it's time to start the front-end server with npm run dev. As you can see here, a Vite server is up and running on port 5173, and we can access it in the browser. It's just a very simple Hello World page of Vue. Now, if you're wondering what is a Vite server and why do we need it? Well, it's basically a build tool that provides hot module reload. which means whenever we change something in the code, the server will automatically rebuild and reload the change on the fly. So as a result, it greatly accelerates the development process. I'll show you in a minute. But before writing any code, make sure that you have installed following VS Code extensions. First, the ESLint extension that will help you analyze your code and report any common problems. Second, the Prettier extension, which will help format your code and make it look better. And finally, the official Vue extension, which will add language support for writing Vue code. Okay, now with these extensions in place, let's try to make some changes to the code. The main entry point of a Vue app is the index.html file. The first thing I want to change in this file is the title of the page. For now, it is Vite app, and we can see it here on the Browsers tab. I'm going to change it to Simple Bank. Save the file and go back to the browser. The tab's title has been updated instantly on the browser to Simple Bank. That happens thanks to the automatic hot reloading feature of Vite server. Of course, we only use Vite as a development server. When deploying to production, the project will be built and all the HTML, CSS, and JavaScript code will be served as static resources. Now, one thing I want to do is changing this hard to remember default port. All the configurations of Vite server are stored in the vite.config.ts file. We should look at Vite's documentation to see how to set a custom port. In the server options section, we can see that the server.port field can be used to specify the port. But note that if the port you set is already in use, Vite will automatically try the next available one. Unless you set server.strictPort to true, then Vite will throw out an error and exit in that case. Alright, let's go back to the config file to set this up. First, I'm going to add a new server section. And inside this object, let's set the port to 3000. As soon as I save the file, the Vite server immediately reloads, and now it's running on port 3000 instead. Let's check it on the browser. If I refresh this page, it says the site can't be reached. But if I go to localhost 3000, we will see the same Hello World page as before. Okay, to conclude this lecture, I'm gonna set strict port to true because I prefer the port to be predictable. And that's it. We have successfully installed Vue, created the first Hello World application, and configured Vite server to run on a custom port of our choice. Those are the most basic things we must do when start working on a Vue project. We will continue building the login form in the next lecture. In the meantime, you should try to set up the project on your computer, and if you need any help, feel free to join Tech School's Discord server to discuss directly with me and other students. Thanks a lot for watching, happy learning, and see you in the next video.